On to the front cover of the Express. Josh, what is the Express leading with on Thursday?
Something about immigration, surprise,
Looks
surprise.
like it.
Hey, go Express. Threat to quit rights treaty if Rwanda blocked again. So this is the immigration minister,
yes,
Robert Jenrick, and he's basically saying, yeah, we're going to leave the European Convention of Human Rights. It's got nothing to do with the EU, by the way.
Yes, it predates the EU.
Yeah, predates the EU. It's something that actually Britain had a big hand in creating.
Yeah.
It helps all of us, all of our human rights. He's come ahead and said that. Now, if you get to the end of the article, they're basically going to go, actually, Number 10 has distanced himself from this. But this is the desperation of the Tory government.
But is it, Josh, because, I mean, is it not the case that since the ECHR prevented the flight to Rwanda at the 11th hour, that the government is actually rethinking this and thinking, well, they shouldn't really have that kind of say over our judicial system?
Well, the point of it is that we will be able to do it. It's actually our Supreme Court who has stopped them because they said that Rwanda is not a safe country. Once it's put through or acknowledged as a safe country, or they find a safe country, then technically this can go ahead. I would argue, and this is what the other papers have argued, is that this is more of a political decision because this is a red line. This is something that the Labour Party is not going to cross in terms of threatening to leave the EHR because the fact is it benefits all of us.
Would, Nick, leaving the ECHR actually make it easier to deal with the situation of boats over the channel?
Well, we don't know, but it might be worth trying because we have to do something. See, Robert Jenrick is just saying he's prepared to do whatever's necessary because this is an emergency situation. Now, the Law Society have described it as using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. Yeah. But it's not really a nut, is it? Because it's such a big problem. It's going to be a problem for all of Europe, all of the West in the coming years. I think we have to get mature about it, and we have to consider all options. You know, The Guardian was saying, oh, well, we'll be in an outlier with just Russia and us, but that's just a sort of Guardian way of putting it.
Yeah, but that is true.
But Josh,
the thing is whether it's necessary.
Something needs to be done.
No, totally. But the question is, if the Law Society is basically saying this is not it because it's not actually, and it's actually going to hurt the rest of us because these are our human rights that would be.
Is it not possible for us to have human rights without outsourcing the decision making to a European power?
Well, it's possible, but this has been a long-term agreement that has helped us through that time.
That's just what I'm very mistrustful of that because during the Brexit debate we constantly had this idea that, oh well, what about all this legislation that protects our rights? But a lot of the legislation were predated the EU, for a start, things like equal pay, and also we can develop our own legislation to cover that.
Yeah, but I mean, I just don't see this as an EU issue as opposed to this is something that needs to be sorted. And arguably, if the Tory government had put the money into our immigration department, we would be able to process these a lot quicker. They wouldn't have such a big backlog. That's the real issue.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's an EU issue. I'm saying it's the principle. Why can't we handle our own human rights issues?
Yeah, but this is but the point is, it's human rights issues as it's bigger than Britain.
Well, I'm not so
sure. Human rights.
Not so sure. Anyway, we're going to move.